Grid. So those that know, which is almost everybody, Grid is a global real estate network. And so we partnered with Grid back in May 2022 because I didn't introduce myself, but I will in a second. I have been a real estate investor since 2009. And so I looked for a need in this market, especially where we could teach real estate agents to use their license to build wealth. That was my main mission. Then it turned into, oh my goodness, lenders have access to this money. Why are they not using it? They're W-2s. They have easier access to building wealth. And so it just kind of all came to fruition in about 2021, where we were teaching classes and I was hitting a wall with the content that people wanted. And so I just partnered with Rob and Mark up in Virginia, who launched Grid 15 years ago, and they create the content. So we choose what is valuable to our market and we curate that experience for you guys. And this is all through a hyper-local investor network. And there's a bigger network, which I love for you guys because you can hop on the big Facebook group, find deals. I asked yesterday, I have a 1031 obligation that I have to be under contract on something November 24th. So I just went to the 3,100 other investors and said, hey, what do you have? And I got 4 emails immediately. So definitely join that Facebook group. I highly encourage it, but we're not gurus. We're people that are actually doing deals. I find often that people come to this group and they're like, oh, I just signed up for this awesome class and I paid $1,300 from this guru. And I'm like, or you could just join us, link in, and do some deals with us, right? So that's the biggest part about Grid. And so back to, I don't love talking about myself, which is why I totally skipped over it. But so for those who don't know me, I'm Rebecca Cullen. I own Cullen and Company at Keller Williams. We are a team of wealth builders. So we love helping investors. We teach investors how to build wealth. We serve about 100 families annually. But I had this massive aha that why am I keeping all of the good deals for myself? And sometimes I do. And I'm under contract on one really, really great deal that I wish one of my investors partnered with me on. And so I had this aha around teaching other people how to do it because sometimes I'm out of capital. And 2009, I couldn't sell my first house. I was one of those people who I had to rent it because I wanted to move to Fort Mill. I was living in Matthews. And we had an FHA loan, so it was like super cheap. I put no money down, basically, on this $175,000 house and rented it for 5 years. And then I made all my money back, plus all the profit that I was making. And I just kept doing that and doing it and doing it. And so I wanted to teach other people how to do the live in a primary for 2 years, then put it on the rental market, and then just keep doing that. And that's how my husband and I really made our first $1 million, was just doing that. And now we're net worth a lot more than that. And we're super grateful, but it's because of investing. So we just want to teach other people how to do that. So Grid's mission is to connect, learn from, collaborate with like-minded people that are interested in building wealth and creating an impact. And I love the group that we have created. We are doing deals often. We are connecting, like we have a CPA that has actually shown up to a meeting. How incredible. We might need to put you on a pedestal and have you on a panel soon. But we love doing that. We've had short-term rental people. We've had designers. We've had construction gurus. We've had all these people come and speak. And that's what I love. It does not have to be me. It shouldn't be me. giving you guys this content. All experience levels, I encourage the baby investors to come. So those that haven't done a deal yet, I love this because then they can create this notebook of what they could choose from. And like you've been following this group, William, and new construction might be your next deal. Or you might go back to the YouTube video of burning and be like, oh, I have like a couple of single family in my portfolio. I should probably burn this one, which is buy, rehab, rent. Actually, buy, rent, rehab, repeat. And just keep doing that. And yeah, refinance, thank you. That's the most important key. And with these with these interest rates, people are scared of doing that. Yeah. But the thing is, if you have a lot of cash that you need to pull out of a property, it still might benefit you if you're going to net income. So for example, and I know we're talking about new construction today, but for example, if you still have $1,000 net on your hold, which is a rental of some sort, you have $1,000 net, which a lot of people have with low interest rates. If you want to pull out $50,000 to $100,000, it might behoove you to get your net to $700 or $500, because eventually you can refinance again and you can keep pulling that money out. But here's the benefit, and this is an extra tip. We're not talking about refinancing today, but if you have equity in a property that you own and you do this practice, every time you take a cash out from your refi, there's no tax. You do not get hit with income tax when you do this. So this property, when we rehabbed it, we have a renter in the back 2,000 square feet. I was able to burn. Granted, my interest rates were still at 4%, but we were able to pull out a good amount of money and then put that into another property. So I would encourage people to not just look at the interest rates as a negative, but as a potential wealth builder that's tax free. And you have a CPA sitting here, so hopefully I was saying the accurate information. And she's shaking her head yes. Good. So we believe your network is equal to your net worth. I truly believe that, and I love shouting that from the rooftops. We helped a family do a home transformation, which is a full rehab of a already created home. And I met the GC that we hired through Grid. She came from another group and she partnered with us, and I don't know, they made like $140,000 on the contract, but that was through Grid. And so that was really beneficial for her and I to know each other. And that's an opportunity where I was able to sell the property faster. Investing in yourself and your people always generates the greatest returns. So you have a drywall / painter. I can't count on my hand how many people do not like to do drywall, right? Like drywall is so hard. So thank you for what you do. And I will not paint, like this whole entire office I probably could have painted myself, but I hired someone to do it, right? There's massive benefit in knowing somebody in your network that can do the things that you don't enjoy doing. Leadership matters. One of our core values of my team, this is our core value wall over here. The first one is leadership. We love to be in alignment with leadership people, especially people in our network. And then knowledge, connections, resources are best found at the local level. I'm sure if I was like, hey, here's a portfolio of all investment opportunities, and I would do every single one of these deals, maybe you would do that deal. But that's through the network that you know. Freedom of finances, time, and choice is our ultimate purpose. That's my ultimate purpose. And then together we can accomplish more than we can alone. So grid means grow your database. Relationships offer the highest return. Invest in people and assets and develop leadership and expertise. That's what grid means. We kept getting that question, and so I'm like, I'm just going to put it on the slideshow. I already talked about myself. Okay, you all talked about yourselves already. That was a slide. Let's see. Important legal stuff. Everything I say can be used against me. I understand. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a lawyer. I am a real estate agent. I can talk about that. However, everything should be at your discretion, and you should do additional research on everything that I share, or that anyone shares for that matter, except for the CPA, who probably knows more than I do. Yeah, back check Lena too. Okay, think of real estate investing as a game. I don't love doing these slideshows, but it's really important for me to do it today. Okay, take everything seriously. This is business. So if you decide to invest in new construction, put a budget together, put a plan together, buy the land at a discount. Do not pay full price for anything, especially right now. Don't have an emotional tie to anything. I bought a property that somebody had a massive emotional tie to, but I'm not allowing me to have an emotional tie to her outcome. Okay, we've talked about this before, Lourdes. You are blessing somebody, whether it's a new construction person, but a land person may have inherited this land from a person that is important to them. They may have lost this land in a tax lien, or there could be so many other variables. So just know, if you put into your mindset that you have no emotional tie to this, it's a business decision. Okay. Yeah. So the second thing is understand that you're running a business, but understand that there's rules and levels that allow you to play, that you ultimately get to win. I love to gamify everything. My team knows that. My family knows that. But everything is a game to me. And I'm not good at chess. I don't even know how to play chess, but my family does. And what I imagine happens with chess is that you play off of the other person's plays. And so those of you who do know how to play chess, I just imagine that if you play as a win-win situation, where a builder, for example, if you're going under contract on land and you're starting to interview builders, again, they have to make money. I get that. But if there's a way for us to create a wood package, for example, with a vendor that you have a relationship with. So Carter Lumber. I have an incredible relationship with Carter Lumber. But sometimes the new construction teams that we go under contract with have a relationship with Beauty Lumber or the other people. And I say very gently, because I don't want to cause issues with their relationships, would it be okay for me to connect you to my sales rep over at Carter? Let's see if we can get a better deal. And if they are not okay with that, then I have to compare apples to apples. If my clients are doing this, I let them know, hey, just full disclosure, I have a quote from Carter Lumber, here's the package, but your builder wants to use this relationship. I have relationships, they have relationships. It's really important. I don't want to step on those toes. But you can get a package better priced over here. So me, as a real estate professional, I'm advising my clients, but I also don't want to step on toes. So I'm presenting the information in the most appropriate way. Okay. So figure out a way. If you're talking to general contractors, you're talking to anyone, I mean, title companies even, make sure that there's a win-win there. You do not need to be taken advantage of. Okay, so step one to new construction is find the land. Oftentimes, especially right here in this area, in Charlotte specifically, we think of tract builders as new construction. And a lot of our business at Cullen Company is new construction, and it is tract builders. But here's why. New construction allows the buyer, this specific new construction allows the buyer to close at the end of the transaction, just like a traditional loan will close or cash will close. So we don't have to worry about draws. We don't have to worry about going through the entire process. They literally meet with the builder to go under contract, or the new home salesperson to go under contract. We negotiate, we get financing, all squared away up front, and then 4 to 7 months later, we close. Back in 2021, it was 9 to 12 months later we were closing, and now we've gotten that time frame figured out. So it's almost like they're buying a resale in that situation, and especially right now, lenders that work with new construction are very, very competitive. Every single one of my lender partners that we have cannot touch the lender relationship that a builder has. And that's because they're including buy downs, they're offering $10,000 to $30,000 in incentives that people can use towards getting that interest rate to the 5. And so new construction right now, almost 100% of my investors, we are going after new construction. Number one, at the time of this meeting, November, every single new construction person wants to get their books clean. Their fiscal years are ending right now, and they want to sell the houses that they have. Unsold listings is the highest expense line item that they have. So I kid you not, there are certain builders in the area right now that we can make offers $30,000 to $50,000 below what their marketing price is, and get most of our clients rates in the 5. So if the rental prices make sense, there's places in Rock Hill actually that can do a $2,900 to $3,200 a month. I have all of my clients scooping up all those properties right now. There's a lot of new construction folks that won't allow investors. Kind of smart. But there's also a lot of new construction people that will do that, will allow investors. Okay? Now, if you're doing custom build or semi-custom builds, it's up to you to find the land, or it's up to your buyer to find the land. And so it kind of cracks me up. A lot of new agents, for example, are like, my client wants to buy a Clayton home. Okay, so Clayton is a beautifully made manufactured home that if you find land and you pop a Clayton home on there, you could make $2,200 a month easily in some of those models. And why would they not all do that? So the problem is there's not a lot of land out there that will allow them to wrap that mortgage to make $2,200 a month, right? So the reason why it makes me laugh is agents are like, how do I find the land? Well, let's go to the next slide. So when you find land, write letters to landowners. So drive around town. If you see, like for yourself, so we're talking about investors. If you find a parcel that interests you, and maybe zoning allows for a modular home or a manufactured home or a mobile home for that matter, start looking at the tax records and write letters. People who inherit the property have no use for it. They have no idea what the land is worth. And you might be able to actually make it happen. I have friends that wanted to live in Coxwell area of Charlotte, like had to live in Coxwell. And there were 3 parcels that were available. And they wrote letters to all 3 owners, and 1 responded. They went under contract and they built a beautiful grandfather home. But they wouldn't have done that if they didn't write the letter. So you can consult a real estate agent, or you can go on Cullen, and it's not very accurate, but at least get you close. I typically offer on land deals. When I'm a listing agent, because when I'm a listing agent, we overprice. But when I'm a buyer's agent, we cut about 30% off of what the costs are. Because you don't know what the motivation is, and they might own the land outright. So why not start a little bit lower? So 30% lower. By tax liens and foreclosures. So True Homes is so good at this. They only buy, actually, I don't know if this is true anymore, but they used to only buy foreclosed land. So they would have, like, let me just throw a name out there. Ryan Homes, for example, would develop all this land and then all of a sudden back out of projects. When they foreclosed, True Homes would come in and scoop it all up. That's what they were known for in 2008 to 2015. And so that's smart. Some people just kind of follow along with that. There's not been a lot of foreclosures over the last few years, but there will be. There will be a lot of foreclosures, which is really sad. But if we get ahead of it, we can figure out who scooped up land and maybe get a steep deal. My teammate Heather, this is not new construction, but my teammate Heather was digging around. My clients want to be in Lake Ridge, which is an amazing community that has a lot of opportunity right now, but nothing on the market they liked. So we went out to Zillow and looked at 3 foreclosures, and there happens to be a foreclosure. And it is going to auction December 1st. It's too late. We cannot represent them. But we have buyers that could snag a house in Fort Mill for under $400,000. A huge house. I could probably end up $500,000. But if she wasn't being resourceful, we would have never thought like that. And so our clients might end up snagging this house. They probably won't, because there's probably a lot of competition. But that's just an example. We start looking for foreclosures. Inherited property. A lot of times we have clients who come to us to consult, and they've inherited land from parents or loved ones. They have no idea what to do. And so we suggest that they partner with a builder, or they slap a mobile home on the property that has septic and well or city waters are already on it, and we sell it to the renter. Like, literally, you just created value to this land. And they don't think like that because they just don't know. And then I just tried to do a real estate question. Any questions about the questions? Did I miss something? There's something that I